Full spoilers ahead for Star Wars Ahsoka. The first 2 episodes of Ahsoka are here, so here's my 2-episode breakdown of the premiere, and at the end I'll share my thoughts. A bit of a warning though, I'll be doing this breakdown assuming you've seen Star Wars Rebels and already know a lot of the lore. Episode 1, titled Master and Apprentice, opens with a crawl, which is cool to see again. It says, the evil Galactic Empire has fallen and a new republic has risen to take its place. However, sinister agents are already at work to undermine the fragile peace. A plot is underway to find the lost Imperial Grand Admiral Thrawn and bring him out of exile. Once presumed dead, rumors are spreading of Thrawn's return, which would galvanize the Imperial remnants and start another war. Former Jedi Knight Ahsoka Tano captured one of Thrawn's allies and learned of a secret map which is vital to the enemy's plans. Ahsoka now searches for the map, as her prisoner, Morgan Elsbeth, is transported to the New Republic for trial. We then go to Baylan and Shin as they're breaking out Morgan Elsbeth on a New Republic ship. Elsbeth then informs them that Ahsoka knows about Thrawn and his imminent return. We then cut to Ahsoka as she's going all Cal Kestis on an old temple or ruins. She does some Indiana Jones puzzle solving and unlocks the map. As she's about to leave, Ahsoka is ambushed by some HK-87 assassin droids, and we then have a really cool fight scene. She defeats them all, but they set themselves to self-destruct, and they all basically have nukes in them? I don't know, that seemed a little ridiculous to me. But anyway, Hu Yang then swoops in and saves Ahsoka as the probably thousands of years old ruins gets blown away. Yep, Star Wars. Ahsoka is then summoned to the transport that was attacked to try to help with the investigation. And then we get to see this beautiful shot of the MC-80 Home 1 Star Cruiser. This model is just great. They then dock and we see live-action Hera for the first time. Ahsoka and Hera then discuss how the Imperials are looking for Thrawn, and if he's alive, then that might mean Ezra is alive too. Hera suggests Ahsoka go employ the help of Sabine Wren, whom off-screen was training with Ahsoka, but somehow that didn't work. Maybe we'll see that later. We then go to Lothal, where a ceremony is being held for the liberation of the planet, and the person giving the speech is Ryder Azadi, a character I didn't even think would be in the show, but it actually makes a lot of sense. Also there is Jai Kell, who's a senator now? Okay, sure. I didn't think that's what would happen to him, but okay. We then go to live-action Sabine, as she's bailed on the ceremony, and there's rock/punk music, so that was odd. And we see some E-Wings chasing her. Great to see E-Wings in live action. We see Ezra's old room, now Sabine's. It looks great. Has all the old Stormtrooper helmets and even Ezra's old Scout Trooper helmets. Back at the destroyed temple, Morgan Elsbeth talks to Baylan and Shin and sends them after Ahsoka. And we find out that Morgan Elsbeth is a Night Sister, which was speculation from some of the trailers. Ahsoka then comes to Lothal to try to convince Sabine to help her. Sabine is only convinced after Ahsoka shows her the map that she has acquired. They then talk a bit, saying that things didn't go so well between them. Ahsoka then goes and talks to Hu Yang, and he has identified the lightsabers of one of the 2 Force wielders, Baylan Skoll, a former Jedi Knight who went missing during the Clone Wars. Sabine then takes the device and goes back to Ezra's old house after being told not to take it off the ship. She then is able to unlock the map, but is attacked by some of the assassin droids, and they take the opened map. Sabine then comes face to face with Shin, and they have a duel. Since Sabine isn't a Force sensitive, she loses and gets stabbed? Okay, I know that she doesn't die, but it's another character on the long list of people who get stabbed in Star Wars and don't die. Except for Qui-Gon. He's just pounding his fist, wondering why he's the only one in Star Wars to die from a stab wound. Anyway, the next episode is titled Toil and Trouble. Interesting because there's a witch in the story. Opens with Sabine in the infirmary, and she's fine, obviously. Ahsoka's pretty mad that Sabine opened the map and then lost it, so now the enemy can find Thrawn. After hacking into one of the dead droids, they learn where it came from, Corellia. We then go back to Baylan and Shin as Morgan Elsbeth shows them the map. They discover that Thrawn is not only missing, but in an entirely different galaxy, and they're preparing for the arrival of the Eye of Sion, a ship capable of traveling the interstellar void. We then arrive at Corellia, where Ahsoka and Hera are trying to find out what's going on. They find that a Super Star Destroyer hyperdrive core is being taken off-world, and as they ask why, they're fired upon by technicians who are still loyal to the Empire. Ahsoka then jumps out the window and tries to stop the ship from taking off, but she is stopped by Morok, and they begin their lightsaber duel. Meanwhile, Hera and Chopper are chasing the ship with the stolen SSD hyperdrive. As they're doing that, Hera tells Chopper to get a tracking device ready, only for him to start arguing with her, which is classic Chopper. Back to Ahsoka and Morok, they do this really cool spin thing around one of the assassin droids. It's really good. Morok is then called off, and he throws his double-bladed spinning lightsaber at Ahsoka and runs to Shin's ship. He then force pulls his lightsaber back right behind Ahsoka, and she just steps aside. Perfect. Up in space, Chopper is able to throw the tracking device onto the ship right before it jumps to hyperspace. Back on Lothal, Sabine is getting out her old Mandalorian armor and gets all suited up. She then cuts her hair in the same way that Kanan did at the end of Rebels, which I thought was a good touch. It marks a new beginning, but in Kanan's case, it was the beginning of the end. But I don't think that's what's going to happen to Sabine. I just think it's probably the mark of a new beginning. And then we return to the scene from the end of Rebels. Probably. This is most likely the epilogue at the end of Rebels, but it could also not be because Ahsoka is still in her gray clothes where she's in white in the Rebels epilogue. But this could also just be a slight retcon, because maybe Dave Filoni just isn't ready to bring in Ahsoka the White just yet. So a change, but it's fine. So they're getting ready to go, and Huyang informs them of where the ship with the stolen hyperdrive has arrived, at a new planet called Cetos. At Cetos, the stolen hyperdrive is being installed on the Eye of Sion, and Baylan informs Elsbeth that Ahsoka is on her way. Okay, so those were the 2 episodes. Overall, I thought it was a really good start. A couple of things here and there, but pretty good. I thought that the lightsaber fights were good. Seeing the HK assassin droids doing all the cool spins and maneuvers was great. Chopper was perfect. I thought that they were going to have a hard time trying to interpret him in live action, but it worked out. The only thing that I didn't really like was some of the acting from Hera and Ahsoka. Yes, a lot of it is just getting used to the live action versions of them. I just didn't really see Hera as she was from Star Wars Rebels, but when she was talking to Chopper, that's when I saw the animated version come out. And Ahsoka is a lot more cheerful in the animated shows, but she's also a bit more serious in Rebels, so maybe this makes sense. One last thing though, I thought the music was great. It was composed by Kevin Kiner, who's the same guy who did the Clone Wars and Rebels soundtrack, so it was great to hear Ahsoka's and Sabine's theme again. Anyway, that's the video. I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe, and I hope to see you in the next video. Alright, goodbye.